Welcome to the Age Gracefully Show with Dr. Michael Grossman, the well-known anti-aging stem cell and regenerative medicine specialist, best-selling author, and founder of the OC Wellness Clinic in Irvine, California. Each week, he shares the latest information to help you look and feel your best so you age gracefully. And here's your host, Dr. Michael Grossman.
Hi, welcome to Aging Gracefully. We're here to talk about how you can stay youthful. I'm an anti-aging specialist, and I really enjoy what I do. I'm always asked, when am I going to retire? I'm now 70 years old. I love what I do. It's really a fun day to work with people on a regular basis and have them feel more youthful. I change people's lives all the time for the better, and it's a lot of fun. I have people come to me with all kinds of complaints that their life isn't working because they're tired, they don't sleep good, their moods aren't good, their energy isn't good, their sexual life doesn't work, and I improve it. And it's really dramatic. 90% of the time, people feel so much better after coming to see me for a few months. It just changes their life. It allows them to accomplish what they came on this earth to do. And the aging process is a fascinating area. I mean, why do people age? Why do we get old? You know, when you look at Bible stories, you see people living before the time of Noah. They were living 900 years on a consistent basis. After the time of Noah, you see that gradually they're living less long. They're living only 600, 500, 400 years. And then as time went by, the time you get to Abraham, the people are living 120 years or so. And then after Moses, 120, the people weren't living that long. They were living shorter. So there was something that was happening in the physiology of human beings, in the environment, in the way that the earth was being an available environment. It changed. And people just didn't live as long. And we're just now beginning to discover, why is that? What can we do to make people live better? So right now, we seem to see that 120 is the break time. We don't see people living much longer than 120. There's something going on in the DNA. How much and how often the DNA can replicate seems to have a limit of about 120 years. Even when you're not dying of any specific problems, you just die of old age. We're going to change that in the near future. We're going to figure out what is happening to the DNA. Now we know that what happens to DNA is that the little, the strings, the end of the strings of the DNA are called telomeres. And then these telomeres shrink. And when they shrink, that stops the DNA from being able to replicate. It's like the ends of a shoestring, and you need those little ends of the shoestring to allow the DNA to replicate. Your body is constantly replicating. Your skin is constantly shedding. You're constantly growing new skin. You're growing new heart muscles. All the areas of your body are constantly changing and turning over, and you're getting new cells. The cells that replicate the slowest is the brain. We used to think the brain stopped replicating when you were 20, but we find that no, it still is replicating, but it's much slower. So we need to have the body being able to replicate and to have the new cells maintained so that you can feel youthful. We know that you get skin aging. We can tell your skin gets older over the years, and we look at people's skin and you know, you get wrinkled and your skin gets saggy. And that happens. Your body's not able to replicate like it used to. And when that happens, you can see the aging in people's skin. Why does it have to happen that way? Why can't we just continue to stay youthful? Well, we're finding that out. And it's going to take a more scientific discovery to be able to have the DNA not lose the telomere length. And we're doing a lot of interesting research in that arena and finding out what makes the telomeres stay longer and what kind of enzymes and nutrients you can take to help that along. And we're making progress in that area. We're not quite there yet, but we can certainly make an impact in that. We just had some studies come out that seem to say that if an individual takes certain hormones, DHEA and extra zinc and extra vitamin D and a medicine called it's a diabetic medicine that is able to slow down that aging process, that process of the telomeres aging. We seem to think, well, look, that's making a difference here. So there's a lot of interesting research going on in that arena. Now, there's a lot of things we know that happens in the aging process. And some of it is that our own body stops making hormones like we used to. And if we were able to totally change the DNA and have our body be able to stay youthful, we won't need to replace hormones. But right now, we're kind of stuck. We can make a huge difference in how you feel, your age, by adding back in the hormones that you had when you were younger. So we can trick the body and say, okay, you now feel like you're 70. I'm going to give you certain hormones that you had in good amounts when you were 35, and you're going to feel much younger. So we give the body the hormones. For men, it's mainly testosterone. For women, it's estrogen, progesterone, along with testosterone, but also the DHEA, pregnenolone. And those hormones will allow you to feel more youthful, allow your body to act like it's more youthful in terms of your brain clarity, your moods, your energy, your muscle strength and stamina, libido. Everything will feel younger, and you will sleep better, and your life, you feel like you're young again. That is something that's easy to do. I do that all the time. I replace your hormones, but I use natural human hormones. The synthetics have problems associated with them because they're not your natural hormones that you've had in your body for years and years. The synthetics are valuable if you have certain urgent problems that need immediate attention. You're having bleeding after a baby or some other issue. That could be helpful. But for ongoing help for anti-aging, you don't want to get the side effects. You get more cancer and heart disease and other issues when you take synthetics. When you take natural human hormones, you don't get those complexities. The intensity of the change is less, but there's no side effects. And you're in it for the long run. You want to feel better for the next 20, 30 years. You're not taking it for a temporary effect. So the hormones are very important. There's some controversy in that area, less so now than there was 20 years ago. I've been doing this for, I don't know, since 1980 something. And it used to be controversial, but now we have the research that shows that women who take these hormones live longer and healthier than women who do nothing. So why not take them? We have research showing that men who take them in modest amounts, where we measure and check your levels of hormones, your testosterone levels, the estrogen levels. For men, as they get older, they take testosterone, push more of the hormones are pushed back into estrogen. And you don't want the estrogen to go too high. You want it to be in just a normal level. So we measure that, and that makes a big difference for longevity and wellness. And there's other measures that we have to watch for, but you want to take the right amount. You don't want to take too much. You don't want to take too little. And so by measuring that, men live longer and healthier than if they're doing nothing. Now, another big area of hormones is the growth hormone area. Growth hormone is produced by the pituitary gland in the middle of the forehead, behind the eyes. And the pituitary gland is like the master gland. Supposed to release growth hormone at bedtime when you're youthful. When you release growth hormone, you feel youthful in so many ways. You feel youthful in your general energy, your muscle tone, your brain clarity, your and your ability to heal the body. And we find that as you get older, you don't release growth hormone from the brain. You don't have that normal cycle of releasing the hormones while you're sleeping and rejuvenating the body, rejuvenating the brain. If we add growth hormone releasing factor, as men and women get older, you once again release the normal amounts of growth hormone that you were releasing when you were youthful. The peculiar thing is that you don't lose the ability to create the growth hormone, you just lose the ability to release it. It's a funny thing. We don't know why exactly, but we have the technology to have you release more growth hormone from your own brain. And what we do, we use these releasing factors, releasing peptides, we call them, amino acid chains. You inject it under your skin at bedtime, and you release the growth hormone, and you feel better. It doesn't work as fast as testosterone. It's a slower release. It's a slower effect. It takes 3 months or so, but then you sleep better, you sleep deeper, you're dreaming more. Muscle recovery with exercise improves, your muscle strength improves, your body fat goes down, your memory improves, your sexual function improves, so you feel more youthful. Now, again, if we straighten out, is your body getting older, and we figure out the whole DNA thing, you won't need to take this stuff. But for now, this is the technology. Other things that cause you to get older, you have the issue of oxidative stress. If you leave a car out in the sun for 100 years, what happens? Well, all the plastic gets hard and cracks. The leather gets cracked. There's a lot of rust that goes on in the car. Metal gets rusty. So all this stuff is oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is a natural process that happens over years where things get oxidized. It's kind of like a slow burning process. And it gets old. Your skin gets older, gets oxidized, and your arteries get oxidized, and your whole physiology gets older. And so that's part of the aging, oxidative stress. How can we reverse oxidative stress? We have several things that can do that. One is your diet is real critical. When you're eating more fresh fruits and vegetables, you're getting antioxidants, vitamin E, vitamin C, D, and many different vitamins will, CoQ10 will stop the oxidative stress process. These are antioxidants. And when you have higher amounts in your body, you can slow down or stop that part of the aging process. Now, I can measure that. You come to my office, I put a little machine on your hand, we put a light through your skin, and it bounces back and tells me how much carotenoid antioxidants you have in your skin, which relates to overall your antioxidants throughout your body. And that's an easy thing to measure. And I can tell how well you're eating by your oxidative stress numbers. I pretty much can tell from people's history, if you tell me what you're eating, how you're going to score. Well, 80% of the time, I'm very accurate with it. Smoking really sucks it down, makes it really low. The other thing that can affect stress is prediabetes. So we have the issue of diabetes where you have to be on medicine, but there's a lot of mild prediabetes that goes on. And it could take 10 years to actually develop full diabetes. And we can see it happen. I have blood tests that we can do that will show, okay, you're halfway or 2/3 towards having actual diabetes. And we can reverse that process by changing your diet and your exercise and giving you various nutrients and herbs that will help reverse that process and push back that whole diabetic tendency. And that's something that's real important for reversing the aging process. So other things that relate to the aging process, think about your joints. Think about degenerative joint disease. as people get older, you get arthritis. What is arthritis? It's the joints wearing out. So you have joints throughout your body, whether it's in your knees, your shoulders, or your hips. The cartilage is supposed to allow things to just wiggle very easily in the joint. And when it doesn't wiggle easily, you then get wear and tear. You get irritation in the joint, and then it begins to hurt, particularly as the irritation gets worse and worse. It can start making the bones get irritated because the bones will start rubbing on each other because there's no more cartilage there. And then you're thinking, oh, I have to have surgery again, have a joint replacement problem. Well, we can reverse the whole process at any stage. If it's very early, we just give you nutritional support, glucosamine, MSM, hyaluronic acid. We can give you different fish oil extracts that reduce the inflammatory process and actually grow cartilage, repair the cartilage. If the process has gone on more intensely, we can inject growth factors like the platelet-rich plasma, take your own blood, get the growth factors in the blood, inject it into your joints, and that is very dramatic to repair the joint injury problem. And it can work dramatically well. 6 weeks later, you feel a lot better. If the process has gone on to where you essentially have bone on bone, where the cartilage is worn out enough, where it's now bone pressing on bone, there's some cartilage left, but there's a lot of irritation, then you need stem cells. So we'll do a whole nother show on stem cells, but essentially stem cells would take your own fat from your belly or your lung, extract the stem cells from there, purify them, concentrate them, and then we inject them back into the joint that's inflamed and irritated, and we actually regrow the cartilage. So that's the general area about arthritis. Then we think about exercise. Exercise to stay young. You need to exercise. You need to be moving, but you don't want to do too much. You don't want to be running marathons. If you run marathons, you wear out body parts. And if that happens, then you have to deal with that whole other issue of repairing the body parts that have been damaged. But exercise is very important to stay young. So we encourage people to exercise. Other things to think about, we've talked about meditation. Meditation is a very important part about staying young. We want to have a regular practice of meditation that you do every day, and we'll do a whole nother class on meditation. Very important. So much research on that showing that it makes a huge difference in staying young, in allowing the body to naturally heal itself and rejuvenate itself. You rejuvenate the brain, but you rejuvenate the whole physiology when you meditate. And then we have the whole area of emotional health. Emotional health is the most important factor in staying youthful. When we look at the major measure of longevity, after the best measure is the quality of your relationships, your emotional relationships. If the quality is good, you're going to live a long time. If it's not, you're not going to live a long time. And that's more important than cholesterol, diabetes, or smoking, or what you're eating. That's the most important thing. You can't ignore that. And my wife and I, we run classes on romantic relationship and marriage, and we love running those classes, and we talk about the great value of what marriage can do, how it can uplift your spirit, how it can be a process of developing your spiritual life. And it's not designed to be a smooth, easy ride. Romantic relationship is a real process. But we encourage you to pay attention to it and to use it as the process it's meant to be, that you're really engaged with it. It's kind of like exercise. It's not designed to be easy and pleasant and relaxing. It's an intense process. But once you learn to do it well, it does become a delight and a joy. But it takes a lot of focus, and it is a process. So I encourage you to come and take classes with my wife and I in Falling in Love Forever. And you can go on our website and get more information, ocwellness.com, or the marriage map is what we talk about in romantic relationships. So there's a lot of things to be done to reverse the aging process. And I encourage you to look into these areas and work on the areas that you're weakest, because all the areas are important, but the ones that are weakest, those are the ones that you have to focus on the most. And so it's a real pleasure thinking out with you this whole area of anti-aging. That's what I do in my office every day. You're welcome to come and see me in my office. You're welcome to go on the website and look up and take a class in meditation. And you're welcome to come to see me as a patient and focus on any number of issues to reverse the aging process. So it's a delight to see you, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching the Age Gracefully Show with Dr. Michael Grossman. Join us next week for another informative discussion to help you age gracefully. Be sure to visit us at ocwellness.com.